Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Chop powered by World Bicycle Relief. My name is Jesper Anker, and as always, I'm joined by my good friend and co-host Wesley Salzberger. How are you doing, Wes?
I'm good. Looks like we've got a good lineup of D graders tonight, and I think it's Fat leading the charge.
Fat with an H, right?
Yes, yes. So foxes, turtles, and hounds. So it's a group of riders, majority of them from Launceston, Tasmania, and they have rallied the troops. So that was Tony Bagshaw leading the charge on that. Has been getting a good number of D graders each week sign up, and it looks like I think you said we had 10 in total from the Fat group.
We do. Roughly just about 10 riders. 40 riders in the D category, which are already out on the road. I believe they've gone from 3 minutes ago. And so the whole point of the chop, it's kind of like a Fox and Hounds race. You have somebody up the road, you chase them down, and then you try to fight for the overall victory. Last week, Wes, I think we should address this. There was a bit of controversy around the winners. Could you fill in, everybody, what happened with the C category just last week?
So last week's C category averaged a good, I think it was like 3.5 watts per kilo. So a bit above what they should have been. So I think Ben Gove, the organizer, relegated some of the people in the C grade group. So he's asked for everyone to make sure they nominate the correct group to their ability. It is a community run event, so making sure that everyone is being fair. So I guess with this race growing popularity, obviously some people may have actually just jumped into the wrong group. So it may have been just an accidental or just trying to join last minute. But as a whole, there's been a push to try and make sure you nominate yourself for your level of ability.
I think he actually disqualified the entire category last Thursday because there were some of the sea riders that were averaging around 4 watts per kilo. And if you're not familiar to Zwift and this whole format, you are based into a category. You're put into a box depending on just how strong you are. So in the C category, your upper limit is supposed to be around 3.2 watts per kilo. And with riders pushing out 4 watts per kilo, they were actually able to put time into the Bs and even keeping the A's at bay. And they were going fast last week. And so, in the best interest of everybody and making sure that everything is fair, Ben Gove went in, disqualified the C's, and said, next week, guys, let's play fair, let's keep everything up and square. I also think there's been a minor change this week, other than the fact that we're on London Classics course, 5 laps today. He's also taken the gap between the C's and the B's down by a minute, I think, Wes. How is that going to affect the racing today?
Yeah, I mean, there's a few people that haven't agreed with that on the chit chat as well on the Chop Facebook page. But in the sense of all things, obviously it's going to make the racing more exciting. Everyone's going to have to push harder now, especially the C's. So yeah, I mean this is an event that is able to change each week. So with that, if the timing wasn't quite right, then that will be readjusted the next week. So Ben's learning as he goes with this, and obviously with the influx of numbers, that's making it a little bit more challenging, I guess, to guesstimate. But I think as a whole, this event is growing in popularity, and we'll work out those time gaps as we go.
I think that's the main factor. It's the participation level. As the numbers go up, as you say, the pace will increase as well because there are more people to take turns at the front. There are fresher legs. So as this event gets more and more popular, I think we're going to see all time gaps slowly decrease and decrease until we're down to just the bare minimum between every category. That doesn't mean it doesn't mean that they're getting stronger, even though they are. It just means that also the fact that Swift is so realistic and so many riders taking a turn at the front, it's so difficult to catch them. Like, try this in real life. If you try to
Mm.
catch 3 riders of not necessarily worse category than you, but like lesser legs than you, not as strong as you, 3 of those guys will still almost keep you at bay, unless that you is Wesley Salzberger. Wes, I'm having a look at the A category tonight. I see Ollie Jones, I see Cameron Roberts, I see Aaron Dunn, I see Jeffrey Keel, I see Anthony Giacopo. Is that how you pronounce it?
That's correct. Yeah. So ex national champion for Criterium champion there, Giacopo. So good to see him in amongst it. And we had who was it on the E-Crit? We had one of his teammates also. That
Freeberg
was
was supposed to
the
be on the list.
Freeburg. Yeah, Freeburg, the inventor of the Air Hub as well. So yeah, Pat Shaw did make contact with a few of his ex-teammates and said if they were up for some racing and very solid racing, that they should get involved in the Ecrit and also the Chop. So good to see them taking him up on that. And looks like we've got a few other names in there. There are regulars. Dunn is in there as well.
Sam
We
Moberly.
don't have Sam Moberly. So we've got Ollie and Sam Moberly. So Sam was also a finalist in the top three of the part of the Zwift Academies, which is just relaunched now for next year's Zwift Academy. So that will start off the 6th of August for the Zwift Academy, but you have your time now to put in your nominations and join the pack. So even if you aren't under 23 category for the men, you can also enter in the women's. And as well as that, you can get the chance to join straight into the pro ranks for the women's side of it and into the Dimension Data under 23 development team if you're under 23 male. But saying that, it doesn't matter what your age is, you can take part in the Zwift Academy because it's a great training program as well, which you'll get to get to have the likes of either women's SRAM team designing the coaches designing the training platform, and also you've got the Dimension Data team coach, especially designing the program for that. So you'll get a lot out of it, whether or not you're in that category to be take it to the next level of under 23 Dimension Data team.
And if you want to hear more from Ollie Jones, good friends of Cycling Hub, which I own, Cycling Porn have actually just released an interview with Ollie Jones from the launch at the Oakley store in Covent Gardens. It's over on Cycling Porn's Facebook page. So if you want to give a watch for that, give a listen, go to do that, because Ollie Jones is quite a funny guy, actually. Talks about a bit of everything. So the racing has now begun. The A's, the B's, the C's, and the D's. Everyone is out on course. We got Kim Little popping that aero power up from the gun. So now we're going to take a look through the other ranks. We're in the A start pen. They've got 3 minutes to make up to the B category, which is raging along down Embankment into London. They are chasing the C group. If I can get to it, this B group is quite big. They're chasing the C group, which happens to be about, a minute up the road? 2 minutes up the road almost. Also 52 riders big. And then we're going to see the fat group with Tony Backshaw, and that's with an H, everybody, just saying, up near the front. Let's find them. Here they go. They are 5 minutes ahead.
And just to come back on that, FAT is standing for Foxes, Turtles, and Hounds. So that's a group from down in Tasmania and Launceston. So they're leading the charge here with Tony Bagshaw getting behind that and making sure his D group expands so they can try and build the numbers. And that's each week we've seen not only the likes of D grade grow, but C grade and B grade. And A grade has sort of stayed about the solid 30 number. So it is a bit of more of a challenge for A grade to find some riders that are willing to jump into the ranks of A grade. So at the same time, A grade has been able to almost catching and get up for the win. So each week the times are adjusted as well to keep it a bit even. So 1 week, the likes of D grade or C grade may come up with a win. But also with the re-handicapping, then maybe the handicap of Ben Gove, the race organizer, can be a little bit lenient and maybe give the A graders a bit more time taken off their time gap.
So look at this D group. It's 32 riders in this front group. They've covered 6.9, almost 7 kilometers of racing so far. We're doing 5 laps, and I believe that's roughly 33 kilometers. They're doing quite well, taking turns at the front. Their upper limit is about 2.5 watts per kilo. It is tough. Everyone here is working their butt off to try and keep that gap at bay. I have yet to see a D victory in the Chop race. I've seen a C victory, I've seen a B victory, and I think I've seen an A victory from like Linton Savatsky. But the D's, Wes, that would be fun.
The D grade would be great, and I guess that's why Tony has been really behind getting more numbers in the D grade group to make sure that they have a chance. So it's great to see that number building for D grade. C grade has been pretty strong from the get-go. When we first started the stream on this, they were sort of the fastest growing group in terms of numbers, but now we see D grade clawing back here with a good 40 odd riders. We did have the CEO of Zwift actually just join in to watch the stream just a minute ago, popped in for a little bit. So Eric Min just joined, and I'm straight away, Ben was on to promoting his ride and saying, "Hey Eric, well, we need you to come race." So good to see Eric is keeping an eye on what's going on down under here. and the community race like the Chop, which exactly that. It is building a great community of races down here, of people, whatever your ability, you can jump in and have the chance to win.
It's fun to see how the whole community aspect has grown over the years because I've now been involved with Zwift for about 2 years. And from the racing standpoint, like the most outspoken guys in the past used to be like Glenn Knight, who used to advocate for the KISS races every evening, still does for the E-Crit. Then it moved over to like Tam Burns and the Friday Criterium, which was quite big like a year and a half ago. Now, Ben Gove is the undisputed king of creating traction for a Zwift event. The man will go above and beyond anything anyone else does. Like, you make a video about your end, I'll make a live stream. You've got something amazing, well, I've got something even more amazing. Ben Gove is so passionate about this, and it's so cool. I believe he sent you and me, Wes, a World Bicycle Relief t-shirt, which I actually cannot wait to wear in one of these broadcasts.
Yeah, he's pretty very passionate about the World Bikes Relief, so it's good to see the Chop is behind a great foundation, in which Zwift is a very strong supporter of. We also have Nathan Guerra here, also giving us a wave and saying right on to us. So thanks, Nathan, for tuning in and seeing what's happening down under. I think it's probably about 4 a.m. for your time in America now, so he doesn't seem to sleep, Nathan. He's a bit of a night owl. And Roberts is actually saying, let's rip into it, lads. So getting behind the group there, rallying the troops. Ben Mather from Launceston has also joined in to see what the Chop is about. So we've got a very strong following from down in Tasmania there. So it's good to see the Zwift community building strongly down in my native lands.
Nice. I think this is a man. He's in the screen right now in focus. Zach Johnson. He blew my mind last Tuesday in the E-Crit with Cameron Roberts. He got caught just on the line with Cam. Zach Johnson, quite a newcomer to Zwift racing, part of your WP Task crew. Just who is this guy? Because he's quite good.
I would say, I'm not 100% sure. He's either late under 19s or maybe under 23 category. So I'll have to come back on that. But he is a rather young rider. So if someone's in the chat in the comments there can let me know what age actually Zach is. I know he's a junior rider, so he's either under 19s or under 23. So certainly a strong comer there. And the power he was putting out with Roberts swapping off in that breakaway we saw in the E-Crit was really impressive.
The thing is, though, he's not new to Zwift because he's got he's got the Atlas Zwift gloves, he's got the Tron bike, so he's definitely level 25 on Zwift. It's just the first time we've seen him actively involved in the racing scene, which is quite amazing. And if it is the case he's under 23 US, I would almost say Zach Johnson could be a favorite to be one of the next Zwift Academy winners, because that's where Ollie Jones came from. Like, I'm pretty sure you and me set from day one of the E-Crit, when Zwift Academy comes around again, the Bumblebee, Ollie Jones, he will sting fast and he will sting first, because this guy's good.
Yeah, I did think that Ollie was very capable of being up there in the Zwift Academy, especially well what we saw in the output and numbers. We definitely both encouraged him to join up, and we saw what happened. Ollie was the man who come up with the out of I think, what was it? We had over, how many participants was it? I think it was over 10 almost 9,000 people applied for the Zwift Academy. And then it was whittled down to the last sort of 1,000 or so, and I think 1,000 odd completed the Zwift Academy. And then out of that 1,000, then Ollie, Sam Mobley, and also Nick White, who Pat Shaw actually coaches as well. Nick White. So
really,
going back on that, Pat Shaw said that he's definitely got Nick White ready to go again for the Zwift Academy. So it'd be interesting to know the lead in and what Nick's been up to training wise. So we might be able to get a little bit insight from Pat. We will be getting Pat to join Jasper a bit on the E-Crit side of things as well. So Stay tuned for that one too. So at the moment, we're just working things out of getting Pat set up with his internet and how we can get him streaming as well. So that'll be interesting.
Get ready for some hot takes, some really, really hot takes. Pat Shaw keeps nothing back. He's always fun to be behind a microphone. The gap to the B riders from the Ace is looking around 2 minutes right now. It is quite a big B group in here. They're all taking turns. They're all working very well at the front. We got El Rasmussen from Australia, together with N. Pedersen of Denmark in this group. And if we move further ahead, it's worth noting that every single squad, I believe, every single category, is racing in a World Bicycle Relief kit. This was World Bicycle Relief Day, so like the 3rd or 4th of November this year, I want to say, or last year. I can't remember which stupid feat I did on that day, but they're quite cool, and you can only unlock these jerseys by either joining the shop or participating in World Bicycle Relief Day. What's your favorite kit on Zwift, Wes?
My favorite kit, well, I'd have to say the in-Gamba kit because that was part of the WP Taz kit. Not many people were using it. When we asked to try and have a kit in-game for the Wolfpack Taz, we got referred to the in-Gamba kit because it wasn't being featured that much. So they were lucky enough to give us the code for that kit, and WP Taz has been racing that kit since. So that's probably my favorite kit on the game. I do like the look of it when we had to use it, and now it's sort of stuck with me and grown on me. But we are getting some comments in the Facebook chat saying time gaps, please. So that's Andrew Paget saying time gaps. He wants to know. I think Andrew's out in C grade, so he's getting a little bit eager to make sure that the time gaps are under control. And Zach Johnson is under 19, so thanks for that,
Wow.
Claire Johnson. So Claire has updated us that's his mother. Has let us know. Greg Hendy has also joined the stream. And we have David Harding saying, hello, everyone from sunny Exeter, Devon in the United Kingdom. So thanks for tuning in, David, and hope you're having a good morning over there in England.
So time gaps. Bear with me. This is Zwift. It's not made for racing just yet, of race broadcasting. I'm looking at the time gaps in the right-hand corner, and like I want to say the time gap between the C's and the D's is 3 minutes 15 seconds, which is quite good actually from the D's. I mean that would mean that the D's have actually put in 10 seconds to the C's. So if they can keep this up, this could be the day we see the D riders win, because the whole algorithm, the whole way the time system is set up so that the D riders are estimated to have 10, 15 riders. But when you're at 32 riders, suddenly the pace ups a tiny bit. Suddenly keeping the 33, the 34, keeping the chain tight. I mean, kilometers per hour are not going down here. So about 3 minutes, 10 seconds between the C's and the D's. From the C's to the B's, though, I mean, that is purely a guess game right now, guys. There is so many riders out on course. We're going to have to wait to get further into the race for it to get closer.
Okay, yeah, because Tony Bagshaw is asking for time gaps so he can let his group know as well. And Ian Vinton actually has brought up something in the comments there saying that can we talk about Jesper versus Wes at the Long Beach Marathon, please? So I'm not sure what's going on there, Jesper. I didn't know whether have you organised a bit of a duel between
Hey,
us for a
Ian, by
running
the
race?
way. Yeah, I put on my Instagram story the other day. I am tempted to do a marathon. I feel quite good about running recently. Recently went out and bought a new Garmin like running watch as well. I'm getting into it quite a lot, thanks to Wes, thanks to Zwift bringing the whole treadmill to live again. And I put in, I want to do a marathon. Which one should I do? And Ian Vinton went, who's by the way the marketing manager at Zwift. You should do the Long Beach Marathon. But I am not stupid enough to challenge Wes to a marathon. This man ran 100 kilometers for fun. I will not be humiliated by running against Wes. I'm good, thank you.
Uh, Jasper, I think you'd surprise us with a marathon. You do well.
Yeah, but would I do Wesley Salzberger well? I mean, there'd be an hour between us. It'd be fun. But no, in all honesty, that'd be fun. Like, if we can touch on that for a second, like Swift running, like you just picked up Milestone Pod, like it's slowly taken off. And I never thought I'd be at all interested in running. Then one day Swift goes, hey, look at this, Jesper. Running is fun. I jump on a treadmill and suddenly you're moving in a game. So not only has Swift made riding your bike indoors more fun, but also running. And like, is Swift just going to take over the world, Wes?
It's certainly going to take over the world of indoor activity. Anything indoor, it definitely that's well, more people, more active, more often is what Eric Min always says, the CEO of the company. So if we can get more people more active more often, then that's awesome by us. So that's what we want to do, and that's exactly what we're doing here tonight in the chop. Of any ability, no matter if you're not coming from a cycling background, then maybe you can try the likes of yourself in D grade in one of the the first group's off tonight, and we are covering also, to the elite with Ollie Jones back in A grade. So from all scales of it, you can get involved. And we've got Kim Little also saying, let's finish a 5K first, Jesper. So a little bit of banter on there. Uh,
Kim Little has
and
been helping me out a lot, Wes. I recently went out and bought new shoes and everything, and so Kim has been the guy who has been asking like what do I get? What sort of equipment? What do I look for? So Kim Little, great guy.
yeah, Greg Henderson said that the chop is Brownie's favorite race as well. So I'm assuming that would be Graham Brown as well.
Greg,
Is
get involved. Get
very
on.
big
Show
fan.
everybody how to do a lead out.
I'm sure that Greg will probably get himself sorted. I think he's just traveling back at the moment, back to New Zealand. So I'm looking forward to have a catch up with Coach Hendy, and see what he's up to in the coming days. So good to see he's tuned into the stream and seeing what's happening here on the Chop tonight. Let us know in the comments any other questions you have regarding this race and the format. If you're new to Zwift, then if you have any questions, then Jesper Anker is the Mr. Guru of racing here on Zwift, and covers a lot of the racing content, and has been on streaming since I first come around and discovered Zwift, which how I first sort of started off working for Zwift in the company, was streaming the eCrit with Jasper last year.
What you don't know is I'm the reason Wes has got a life right now, guys. Everybody, this is I made Wes. No, I'm just kidding, guys. Wes, Tour de France finisher. He's got a mind of his own. But looking at time gaps, I finally figured it out. C's to the B's is 40 seconds. B's to the A's is 1 minute. C's to the D's is 3 minutes. So it's gonna be A's versus D's tonight.
Wow. Yeah. Right. Okay.
Also, I have a
Also,
sneaky suspicion this
we've got-
broadcast is broadcasted in the Swift UK office right now because Ian Vincent just gave me a thumbs up. So, hey, guys.
Yeah, I think it is. They're aware of what's going on here with the chop. And also, Andrew Paddy is saying B is closing in really fast on C grade. And then we've got another question here by Javan saying, how many kilometers is the London's classic course?
About 5.5. I know the overall length is just around 33 kilometers tonight. So you can see that. So they've got about 19 kilometers left of racing, which is roughly 3.5 laps.
Yeah, and we just had the Zwift kid join in as well. I don't think we saw Zwift kid joined into the actual racing part, but he's joining the stream. So g'day, Anthony Ciano. Thanks for tuning in to the Chop. And Anthony, what's your pick tonight? Actually, if you're tuned in right now, who do you think is going to get up for the win? Is A grade going to catch? Is it going to be B grade holding off A grade? I think we'll see, obviously, B catch C, and then that could be a bit of a beast.
But, I mean, the B's are going to catch the C's, Wes, but are the A's going to catch the B's beforehand? It's only a minute, and looking at the quality of this A group, if they do not catch the B's and the C's tonight, something is seriously wrong in the corporation down here, and they might need to elect a new leader of the tribe. Like Keith Leonard, beast. Vishnu Roy, beast. But when you have all this talent, all this firepower, you should be able to catch the gap up to the C's, the D's, and the B's. And I think they're going to do it tonight, Wes, purely based on the course alone. Because usually when we do the chop, it's on the Volcano. Yeah. Tonight, it's on the London Classics course. And when they turn left in a second, you're going to see the Trafalgar Square climb. That is 200 meters at about 6%. And for the D's, the C's, and the B's, it hurts a lot. For the A's, they enter with so much speed, with so much power, they just kind of go over like it's a rope bump. Right, Wes?
Yeah, like a bit of a speed bump. You are right with the numbers we have in here of strong riders. Like you look at that lineup there. We've got the Zwift Academy winner, we've got Aaron Dunn, eCrit champion. We've got Ginger Citizen, who's very dominant in a lot of the racing across Zwift as well, and a good friend of Jesper's. So we've got Sam Mobley in there, it's runner-up also in the Zwift Academy. Kim Little,
UK national champion,
very strong, very very strong. Actually, he took over the lead in that race by just on the line, wasn't it, to actually a Zwift employee for second place. Was that correct? It was Tom, wasn't it?
It's Tom Hargreaves. So I don't think Tom is ever going to let that go.
I didn't mean to bring it up. I know it's a sore point if you are watching the stream there, Ducky, in the London office. But yeah, this is going to be very close, down to a minute, the gap between the A and B. So it looks like they're pushing strong up this hill here now. We're seeing a few power ups being used as well, Jasper. So nothing spared. A will catch, says Anthony Porter. So thanks for
Hmm.
tuning in, Anthony. Good to see Anthony tuning in. Hopefully, we can see Anthony get involved in maybe some of the racing again. One of the finalists in the E-Crit last year, but hasn't raced as much this year. But hopefully, Anthony will get back into some of the racing. But hey, guys, this is from Anthony saying, I think the A boys are more than capable. Hopefully, next week I'll be in there to help. So
Nice.
A grade is a pick by Anthony, and my pick for out of A grade, who will get this right? I think maybe Giacopo might have got a little bit more of an understanding of Zwift. And if it does come down the sprint and he has the correct power up, I think he should blow everyone away.
I just like Jacopo's like equipment choice today. He's got the right sort of like suck doping. He's got the Pinarello frame with like a light blue color. I mean, that's very hipster for Swift. You always see Savelos, you always see Trek Domains, I guess. You see the Tron bikes, but no, Jacopi goes with the Pinarello Dogma, light blue, right sock length. I think, though, looking at this list, I think Zach Johnson learned from last Tuesday, and I think our little wonder kid is going to steal tonight's win, Wes.
You think he's going to go off the front on that final climb? Because Zach is not a very quick sprinter from what everyone's been saying in the comments and of last week. He's more of a climber, but certainly can hold some high watts at a very high threshold. So it'll be interesting to see whether with the right power up, whether he can come off the wheels of someone like Anthony in the sprint, against that raw power, or whether he'll go for that attack mode up the final climb.
He just reminds me of Cameron Roberts. Like, not only the fact that he was in a breakaway with Cameron last Tuesday, but the way they ride, it's so similar. And Cameron Roberts is smart enough to get a victory however he wants it. Even if it is a sprint, West, he might not have a big kick on him or big acceleration. But on Zwift, it's a different animal. The drafting is there, but it's not as powerful as in real life. So if you go from 1K to go, if you go from 800 meters, which I think Sack can do, I think he'll just break everyone and he'll literally just turn it into an elimination race for 800 meters out with
Yep.
holding 800 watts. That is how Zach Johnson will win.
And that is how Pat Shaw would usually win this on this sort of course as well. So let's see if Zach goes with the long attack method. Obviously, we've blown his cover on that if he's going to do that move.
Sorry.
But let's see what happens with that. But first of all, they have to catch D grade if that's what they would like to do for the sprint finale. Obviously, they can try and win their grade, but the overall race is up for grabs as well. And D grade aren't going to give up without a fight.
C's and B's are together. So the B's have caught the C's. If the A catches this group, Wes, is there any chance that the B's and the C's hang on to that freight train?
Oh, it's going to be very difficult for him to hang on to the freight train. Like there'll be a few riders that may be able to jump in there. Obviously, with the game, with the size of the group and the numbers. But it's when those surges happen, especially up that final climb leading into the last part, coming to that K to go. That's where if you're smart about it, you'll do a little bit of a make sure your acceleration before you get to that climb to make sure you're at the front. So then you can do the virtual sandbag and slowly see if you can hang on to the very back of the group. Where if you're starting at the back of the group and you hit that climb, you haven't got much hope if your legs are already lactic.
I feel like I've got this mug, and I agree. Good things happen over coffee. This is definitely one of those good things. And I feel like this chop race is wanting to. This chop race has honestly rekindled my love with Swift racing because Swift racing it's very monogamous. It's very much the same every week, in and out. It's the fastest wins. It's a sprint. It's the Pat Shaws, the Ollie Jones, the Anthony Cianos, but with the chop. Massive credit to everyone involved in this, especially Ben Gove. You never know what you're gonna get. Like, I want to quote like Forrest Gump here, but that's too cringe. I'm not gonna do that for you guys. But it's literally so good.
I thought you were going to pull out the box of chocolates there for a minute. I thought you were going down that line.
I was until I realized I'm here with Wesley Salzberg, and he would never let me get out alive if I pulled out that quote.
We're getting Tracy also saying go D grade, go fat. And Mark Padgett has just joined in as well. So, Mark, your brother is racing in C grade at the moment. So, Andrew is racing in C grade. So, cheer him on. And he would like you to jump in and maybe race in A grade next week.
The gap between the CBs and the A's is now 20 seconds. The Ds are so far ahead that I actually cannot see them on the right side of the screen. The Ds somehow may still be around 2.5 minutes from this group. And if that's the case, Wes, the Watts might be a bit off. I mean, you would imagine they'd be caught slowly by now.
Well, you'd imagine so, but they haven't been. So, this is going to be interesting. I mean, the D grade aren't going to give up out the front there, and I think they're all riding in that favorite jersey of mine. Actually, they're in the Ingamba kit as
Mm-hmm.
well.
They are. But we'll see them on course when we get there. There's 13 kilometers to go, so I believe this will be the penultimate lap once they cross the start finish banner. We still got a very collect A group, and on this incline, I do believe we'll see them just snatch up that front group of the C's and the B's, and we'll see who's got a ticket to hang on to this. It's gonna hurt. Like, today is one of those days, if you're in the B's and the C's, you're gonna get a new FTP if you just try to hang on. It's gonna suck. It's gonna hurt, but if you wanna get better, it's gotta get worse first. So do your best if you're listening right now. You're in the B's and the C's. Race isn't over. Workout is not far from over. You gotta hang on. See a name. This is the Ollie Jones, the Aaron Dunns. These are the guys you may idolize from watching the E-Crit every Tuesday like I used to do, like I still do. So hang on, get a new FTP, and maybe next Thursday you could be a category up.
Could be, and that's each week we see some of the riders obviously getting fitter and maybe improving and having to jump up a grade as well. Using this solid racing style of event pushes everyone along further. So we're getting a couple of more comments as well now from Hilary Ivory saying, hang in there, D grade, go fat. So a lot of support for the D grade group and especially the fat riders out there. So that's fat with an FHAT, foxes,
Oh, they're on the
turtles, and
left side
hounds.
there, Wes. The D riders, they are just about a
Ooh,
kilometer ahead of the A riders. You could see them on the left. You could visually see the Ngamba guys. So they're about a kilometer ahead of the A group with 2 laps to go, Wes. Can they make it?
2 laps to go. That's going to be these guys aren't going to let up now, and they've got a sniff of it with us calling it on the stream as well. 1K ahead. It's good. It's a good time. It's a good distance ahead, but at the same time, these guys are going to come in hot and fast. It's going to come in, especially coming down to 2 laps to go, and the last lap obviously will be all out. Some of the riders will be even using power ups just to stay on the group.
Look at this mess. They're all intertwined. You got Kim Little off the front just trying to get
Wow.
through it. This is what it takes. This
Oh,
is what it is
wow.
like when you get caught by that group behind, Wes.
Yeah, and it looks like a lolly scramble right there now with all of those riders everywhere. A good mix of jerseys and a good mix of abilities trying to jump in and ride together. So we can see the ride leader as well there, and Kim Little out in front here with a solid pace. Kim Little's heart rate isn't too high either. He was only at 164 beats, so got a fair bit to work with there. And now we're out to the D grade here, coming up the home straight here, just missing the corgis on the left-hand side. And looks like they're all grouping together. One rider going solo out in front there. Not quite sure what he's up to there, but maybe trying to stretch the pace, but they haven't quite held the wheel.
30 seconds, Wes. The D's and the A's, it's 30 seconds is separating them.
And it looks like Lieutenant Bagshaw has gone out in front, leading the charge. He probably knows what's coming, but he's going to go down swinging. So good to see Tony there leading the group through. And it looks like the rest are rallying through and going to pull through for a couple of turns now. We can see in the background there that beacon, that glowing big yellow beacon of the ride leader back in A grade there. They are slowly reeling them in. This is like a Tour de France stage, and the breakaway is going to come back.
Somewhere, Johnny is getting flashbacks. Johnny's like, no, not again. Just leave me out just a little bit more. I want to get my first place in the World Test Spanish stage, but no. It looks like the D riders are going to get caught tonight, Wes.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to get caught, but at the same time, they've given it everything. And it's great to see that D grade building up in numbers as well. And again, I would like to see, as this grows, the time gaps be adjusted. So maybe D grade seem to be caught at least by the grade behind them each week. But this week, not the case. They've stayed out in front, and A grade is going to lead the chase and bring this all together right now. So this is going to be the second lolly scramble of the night, the next group catch. Hopefully some of the riders can use some of their power-ups. Looks like they are using some of their power-ups to see if they can hang on a little bit longer there. So well done, D grade, gone down swinging, but next week they will have to try again.
The A's are officially in the front of the chop, powered by WBR. We're going to see who's going to take it tonight. But thinking about it, Wes, we could see a B rider win this. Like, B riders are typically a bit bigger, a bit stronger, a bit more punchy, like ready for the sprints. And if it's a mass start, the C's and the B's usually get dropped because the start is so frenetic and it's so fast. It's always 12, 14, 15 watts per kilo for an unsustainable amount of time if you're one of the lower categories. But right now, it's pretty settled. You can draft in, fight, and then if you are a B rider with a massive sprint, like the guys like Chris Pritchard, who used to work for Zwift a while back, he could produce 2,000 watts. But he's a fat dad, and he's about 100 kilos. So, I mean, he's got the power. He just can't do the initial, like, sustainable power in the beginning. So, B Rider could actually take the win tonight.
That could happen here, and depending on what the momentum of this bunch is now as well, because obviously they've caught everyone out on course. Does the focus switch back to preserving the legs a little bit now? Obviously, no one else to catch out on course, so the strategy may change a little bit here, which gives those B riders the opportunity and chance to sit in there and recover a little bit. Like you said, Jesper, if they have a strong sprint on them, they're under no obligation to hit the front here, and they can look after themselves. Obviously, they will have to do some sort of a sprint effort, because my guess is that someone's going to hit up the final climb and do an attack leading into that under that K to go banner. There will already be, I think, very strung out group, because some of these riders will know they're probably not well suited to a sprint, so they will go out with a swinging attack.
I was going to ask you, Wes, because at what point does the whole collaboration and teamwork just go out the window? Like, you've caught the D's, you've caught the C's, you've caught the B's. There's no one else to catch out on course. It is now neutralized. You are the lead of the race. You're the head of the race. You've done your work. At what point do you go, I'm not working anymore. I'm going to attack. I'm going to wait for the sprint. Your turn.
Well, if you're going to attack, you don't want to do it until the correct moment. Now, you don't want to just go, oh, cool, I'm going to do an attack. You want to think about it. You want to know what power up you have as well, because that's going to help your attack. If you're going to go all out, then you're going to make sure you have a nice strong power up, either a feather lightweight if you're going to attack on the climb, or an aero power up. And you're going to, obviously, if someone's already stretching it out when you're thinking about attacking, then you're probably going to have to wait for that lull moment and then go. But obviously, leading into the final time, there isn't going to be too many lull moments. It'll be everyone will be on edge and sort of covering each other. Greg Henderson now on the chat on Facebook is saying, can you quickly explain how you are graded? So Jasper, can you cover the graded situation of how that works? We did cover that early on, but just to late joiners to the stream.
Essentially, it depends on how much money you pay me. I will then place you in a category based on what I think. Nah, just kidding, guys. It's all based on watts per kilo performance. You race on Zwift, you ride on Zwift, you get given an FTP, basically your functional threshold power. How long and how hard you can ride will determine where you are on Zwift. In real life, you upgrade by winning races and getting points. In Zwift, you upgrade by becoming stronger and better and being able to prove it by putting out the performances needed to upgrade. So initially, most people start off in D category. That's a limit of 2.5 watts per kilo. So you take your weight divided by your FTP and your absolute watts you can put up for 20 minutes. And then some other... Zwift will tell you. Anyway, when you then produce more watts, Zwift will say, hey, your FTP is improved. You're now this. Then you move up. Then you move up again. And you move up again until you're in the A category and you realize, this sucks. It hurts. A category is not fun. But that's how the category system works on Zwift. It's not based on performance. It's based on your strength, your individual strength, which is quite fun. But it could be fun to have a race based on results one day, Wes.
It could be, and the results usually do reflect the power as well of your watts per kilo average at the end of the race too. So that's what we were talking about earlier with C grade averaging over some of them 4 watts a kilo. So there were some riders that were probably a little bit strong for Seagrave, but Kim Little going on the attack here now, Jasper.
He's trying to catch up to Cameron Roberts and B. Johnson of Giant Australia, who's gone on to the attack. So Cameron Roberts, he just can't sit still. He just wants to attack again and again and again. And I mean, massive credit to Kim Little, UK national champion of Zwift. The guy has raced CVR multiple occasions, never won it, but he's really just always on the front of this race. And now he's actually bridged the gap to the front. This could be a race that could be very well suited to him.
It could be, and with Cameron Roberts in here, he knows that he's got someone strong to work with too. And the third, B. Johnson as well from Giant Australia in there too. So I'm just wondering to get an update of, is that Ben Johnson or who that is? So if anyone in the comments could let us know, if you do know, is it Ben Johnson or have I got that wrong?
1 lap to go. Wes, as always, do you have an impromptu bell to ring? The suspense.
I do.
You do?
I do.
Oh, we're ready. Here we go. 50 meters to go. What item prop will Wesley use today?
Oh, look out. Here we go.
Oh, he's going with the patented key bell for the last lap of the E-Crit, of the chop, whatever we're broadcasting. It's always there. Oh, no! Oh, we're going to have... Oh, no, that's a bad time. So there's 1 lap to go, and I'm getting some technical difficulties. This sometimes happens on course when you stay too still for too long. It's going to take 2 seconds. We'll get right back. But Wes, 10-second gap off the front. We're focusing on you. Talk to everyone. What's happening?
10-second gap off the front there. So Cameron Roberts out there as well. So Cameron Roberts, very strong rider, has won a lot of the E-Crit series earlier on, which we stream on a Tuesday night at 7 o'clock. So that is usually a smash fest of a race. So start is very hard, over threshold for at least the first 3 to 4 minutes. And then everyone sort of starts to settle in after that.
And he's out there with Kim Little and B. Johnston of Giant Australia. Kim Little, I know from personal experience, quite a strong sprinter, quite light, quite strong. So, I mean, between Cameron Roberts and Kim Little, I actually don't know who would take it. And thinking of it, so Kim Little is the UK national champion of Zwift. Was there an Australian one?
It is coming. Yeah, there is an Australian Championships in the pipeline. Yes, so stay tuned for that. And the grapevine is there will be a New Zealand one as well. So maybe the likes of Ollie Jones will probably try and take out the New Zealand national champs.
I was going to say good luck beating Ollie Jones, but Ollie is on the recovery from a crash, I believe. Yet another one. So that might be an opportunity for someone out there to dethrone the Bumblebee.
Dethrone the Bumblebee, but looks, is Cameron Roberts here has got a gap on Kim Little, trying to distance him here. Looks like it's not going to probably stick. Looks like Kim Little's got him covered there and is coming back onto the wheel now. He's probably got that close the gap up on his screen right now, down to 3, 2, 1 and on the wheel now. But looks like these riders now will be starting to probably fox around a little bit. Obviously, that little bit of a leg shake and attack. And now Jasper going back to the riders that are actually going to come onto the back of the breakaway group here now.
This is the last lap. We've got about 3 kilometers left to go. So they're going to go left here, up the false flat, another left. Then we've got the Trafalgar Square climb. Come down, do the U-turn, do the 1 kilometer to go banner, and they're going to sprint for their life. Last Tuesday, I did not believe Cameron Roberts and Zach Johnson would get caught. I am kind of looking at the same scenario here, Wes.
Is this 8 seconds out to the front I'm seeing now? Is it
yes,
8 or
about
7 seconds?
6 seconds now here on the false flat. 6 seconds. They can see them in the rearview mirror.
Right. My guess, this is coming back. Yep, this is going to come back with that shorter distance and a few attacks up the incline here. I can't see them staying away. But saying that, these riders may attack themselves as well on that final climb. And if they have a power up and they're going to go all out, you know, that's where it could be interesting. I don't think they'll be able to hold off this chasing bunch. Is it Ginger Citizen?
It is Russ Crowder trying to bridge the gap. But what he's doing is he's bringing the entire peloton with him. Actually, he snapped it. If he could get across here, that'd be a valuable ally for the 3 riders in the front.
Yeah, it depends on whether he'd be able to pull a turn or whether he's just going to whiz straight by them here, actually, and whether they're going to be able to lift and jump on him, because it looks like he's sailed on by them here. Look, he's actually easing off the watts there, so maybe he's waiting for them there, realizes the value in that but at the same time, they still haven't got on the wheel here. And the closing peloton is coming quick here as well. That gap doesn't look like it's too big now, Jesper. And Aaron Dunn on the front there by the looks of it. Ollie Jones as well. So some strong riders up the front here. And we're going to go up this final climb now.
3 seconds is the gap. 2 seconds, 1 second. It's coming back. It's Ben Van Dam of WP TAS on the front, trying to chase it back for their road captain, which is Aaron Dunn. Last time up the Trafalgar Square climb, who's it going to be? Who's going to light it up? We got Ben Van Dam with a feather. Aaron Dunn in front of him. In the leading group, it is Kim Little. We've also got Ben Johnston with a feather power up. We've got, that is Russ Crowder popping an arrow to try to stick onto this front group. It is fast, Wes.
Doesn't look like anyone's going to have any power up left here. I haven't seen Dunn use anything yet, so it does come back to the Grupo Compacto. Then Dunn will most likely have the aero power up, but whether he'll be in contention with these riders here out in front. So B. Johnson out in front now with a bit of a gap here as well, Jesper. They're coming up out of that climb now, and this is the part that hurts after you've got over the climb, and then you've got to reset and try and sit at that really high threshold or above threshold, which we're seeing here right now. By
could
Johnson.
stick this, Wes.
So great work by Johnson.
They could stick
this.
But
it looks like the riders are back there now. Ginger Citizen there as well. So this is a strong group here. Now we see the Tron bikes glowing in the background. Ben Van Dam doing another pull there. And we have Giacopo behind him as well. So Ben Van from the Wolfpack Taz crew from down in Hobart. This looks like he's smashing the front here and trying to make sure he can get across, trying to snap that group off the back of his wheel there, off the peloton. But it looks like everyone's sort of hot on his heels there. And Aaron Dunn actually just on the hot on his heels there. So it looks like...
Zach Johnson.
Looks like it's going to be a bit of a shake and bake by the Wolfpack crew here. This is going to be interesting coming down to the last finale. I'll let Jesper take over from a K to go here.
This could be a 1, 2, 3 WP task. Zach Johnson, Ben Van Dam, Aaron Dunn, they've all got the power. And this is where Zach Johnson at 6, 7 watts per kilo, if he wants to take it, this is where to go from. We also got Ginger Citizen back up at 8. That entire peloton is now strung out. We've got less than a kilometer to go. Who's it gonna be? Looking from behind, we got Ollie Jones in the wheel. Keith Leonard's in there. Kim Little, has he recovered? Jeffrey Keel, strong rider. Ollie Jones is almost at 200 beats per minute at the heart rate. Everyone is suffering. Jacobo is coming to the front now. Ben Van Dam is still sitting up there. The first aero power-up is being popped. It's Cameron Roberts. It's all mess everywhere, but it is the pro Anthony Jacopo at the front with the drafting power. But this is where Zwift knowledge comes into play. Someone will neck him on the line. He went too early, too fast. It's Kim Little in front of him. It's Aaron Dunn. Kim versus Dunn. Who's it gonna be? But Cameron Roberts with the last push to catch Kim Little on the line. He will do it. It will be Cameron Roberts 1, Kim Little 2, and Aaron Dunn in 3rd place.
Wow, what a finish there. And those power-ups coming into play. Anthony Jacopo looked very strong there, but he had the boosting power-up, so not the correct power-up. So that is unfortunate for him. But again, another learning curve for Jacopo. He will get this right, and I did pick him for the win. I think with the little bit more knowledge behind Zwift, maybe that he can pick up that he was styling on the Dogma as well, which Jesper called out was pretty trendy. But that was an awesome finish there by all competitors. Well done to everyone throughout all of the grades for taking part. A very great race. And hopefully we'll see a nice time gap I'd like to see for D grade out there next week as well. Make sure that they get a nice, good time gap and readjust there by Ben Gove, the race organizer, to try and see if they can catch. It'd be so good to see if they could catch D grade on that final climb. How good that would be.
And if you haven't tuned out just yet and you want a small Zwift lesson out there, everybody, what Jacopo did works pretty much in real life if you're the strongest cyclist. On Zwift, if you go that early with the wrong power-up, you will just lead everyone out. And so Jacopo was one of the strongest riders there, without a doubt, one of the freshest. He was ready for it. He was poised for it. But all everyone else had to do was just sit in the slipstream, pop the arrow, and come around. Zwift is not real life. It is its own discipline, its own game. And if you want to be the best, you got to put in the hours and learn from your mistakes. Everybody, that has been the Chop powered by WBR. Great race. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Greg Hendersons, the Nathan Guerras, the whoever else tuned into the broadcast tonight. Anthony Ciano, Anthony Porsche. I'm probably forgetting a lot of names. Zach Johnson's mom. You guys and girls all rock. And here on the fouling rope, Pete Donahue asked me to say one word, and that is Winnebago. So I got to put that in the broadcast, Wes.
And one last thing, also Judith as well, saying so glad she found this stream to watch. So thanks for tuning in, Judith. Hopefully you can get some other races involved as well, so you got someone to cheer on. So thanks again for everyone. Thanks to a big shout out to Tony Bagshaw and the D group in the Fat Foxes, Turtles, and Hound group, getting a nice D grade up to 40 riders. So hopefully we can see that build again next week. I'm not sure we had a total in numbers for the ride, but I'm sure it was pushing up around that 200 mark again. So great job by everyone. We look forward to seeing you next week on the Chop.